couple of months before my grandmother passed away, she was on her way to a women's conference with some friends. During the trip, one of her friends asked what was the hardest thing that you've ever experienced. And my grandmother's response kind of caught everyone off guard. With complete confidence, she said, "I haven't experienced it yet." Now, if you knew her story, you would be blown away by that statement. You see, my mama had lived through more hardships than most could imagine. She had been abused as a child by her alcoholic father. Her husband was killed when she was 6 months pregnant with my mom, and she never remarried. She raised 4 children on her own, and she struggled. She had endured loss after loss after loss. And in the weeks leading up to her death from stage 4 colon cancer, she was facing yet another battle. But despite all that pain, she still said with certainty, "I haven't experienced the hardest part of my life." When her friend later told us about this conversation, I was absolutely amazed. How could she say that? How could someone who had lived through such devastation still express hope and confidence in the face of a battle that was literally claiming her life? The answer is and was that Mama knew something deep within her soul. She knew that in every trial, in every hardship, she could depend on the one who gave her strength. She had learned over the years that while life could be painful and overwhelming, she wasn't walking through it alone. God was with her every step of the way, and He would continue to give her strength no matter what came next. This reminds me of the powerful verse in Philippians 4, verse 13, where Paul declares, "I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength." Paul was not promising that life would be easy or that we would be spared from difficulties. In fact, he experienced his own fair share of hardships, shipwrecks, imprisonments, beatings, but through all of them, he was dependent on the strength of Christ to carry him through. Just like Paul, my mama knew where her true strength came from. It wasn't in her own abilities, it wasn't in her circumstances, her resilience, though she had plenty of all of those things. It was in the power of Christ. She had lived through some of the hardest experiences that anyone could face, and she had learned that through Christ, she could endure. Her confidence was not her own ability to handle suffering, but in the strength and grace that God provided. No matter what, she had come to trust that God would always give her what she needed to face the challenges of each day, even on the hardest ones. As I reflect on her words, I'm reminded that our own strength comes not from our own abilities to endure, but from Christ's power working in us. Whatever hardship you're facing today, whether it's physical pain, emotional struggles, fear of the unknown, know that you can do all things through Christ. His strength is made perfect in our weakness, and He will sustain us when we feel we can't go on. We don't have to face our hardest moments alone. Just as God gave Mama the strength to carry on through unimaginable hardships, He can give us the strength we need to face whatever comes next. The hardest part of our lives may still be ahead of us, but with Christ, we can face it with confidence, knowing He will carry us through, and He is always with us.